There was this transformative moment when I walked into Figma, which at the time was probably 30 people, and I was talking to one of their infrastructure engineers and expecting to have the same conversation I had so many times before, says Cacioppo. But this time, when I asked, what do you do or do for security? This person listed about 12 tools and a bunch of best practices and just kept going. That floored me. I was like, why? Who are you and why? Figma had just signed one of the largest public technology companies, a massive deal for anyone, let alone a 30-person startup. And as part of the sales process, that public company sent over a long questionnaire to assess Figma's security practices. Figma's answers were mostly no's, but the team didn't want to say that. Instead, they turned the questionnaire into their product roadmap and built everything on it so they could honestly say yes to every list item on the checklist. A light bulb went off for Cacioppo. Figma had successfully aligned securing its company with growing its business. Out of necessity to close a big deal, security became the top priority. That meant if she could help these startups prove their security practices and in turn help them sell to bigger companies, she could create a product that generated real value. That led her down another rabbit hole of figuring out how she and her team could productize this idea. Could they standardize the kind of questionnaire that the public company had sent Figma? Could they create a way to automatically answer it? We couldn't do either of those things because the questionnaires were just so bespoke and custom, she says. That's when we realized the real question we needed to be asking was, how can we make it so startups don't need to get a questionnaire? The answer was, with a compliance certification like SOC 2, SOC 2 is a framework that establishes a set of security and compliance guidelines that serves as a gold standard for how a company manages and protects customer data. For SaaS companies, obtaining SOC 2 certification is paramount if they want to capture enterprise customers because these large companies must ensure customer data is in good hands. SOC 2 provides that proof. Practically speaking, SOC 2 is an 80-page PDF that lists the security practices of an organization. It essentially says, hey, as a company, we have these practices, and an auditor has come into the company and made sure we do what we say and written some details on how we do it, Cacioppo explains. It's an incredibly time-consuming process, which is why practically zero startups had SOC 2s. It seemed like they'd found their winning product idea. Just automate the process of getting a SOC 2 and startup would be banging down their door, but not so fast. When we went and talked to consultants and auditors about automating SOC 2s, they were like, well, you can't do because every report is unique. Cacioppo and her team pushed back. Sure, historically these reports were unique, but did they have to be? Even if one business is different from another, should the way that they protect their customer data be widely different? If we're talking about security practices, yeah, there is some nuance, but there's also best practices, says Cacioppo. And that common ground is where she decided to build the first MVP.